What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Ray Knight, here to give you proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. You know, one thing that I have never really understood is why when people do things to Logan, they just expect him to let it go. I don't know why, one, you would expect him to just let it go, and two, why you would do anything to Logan. So today we are talking about Wolverine Revenge, number 3. So, as we saw in the second book, well, the first and the second book, I don't know why I was about to call that boy Rasputin. What is his name? Colossus. Oh my god. It's so early in the morning. Colossus and Omega Red, Deadpool, the mind controller guy whose name escapes me, there was like a whole entire situation that happened. If you guys remember from the first book, there was like a whole entire situation where the death of Magneto caused an EMP and just wiped out half the world. The other half, where all of them has power, food, and supplies, and things like that. And they actually ended up capturing Wolverine, Bucky, Captain America, and they ended up killing Captain America. And Bucky tried to kill Wolverine, didn't work. Wolverine then ended up killing Sabretooth. That's who's also on the team. Ended up killing Sabretooth. And the mind reader guy whose name escapes me. Doing things like this at 7 o'clock in the morning is just not ideal, I tell you. Anyway, so basically, in this one, he is still on the hunt, and he gets on a boat or a ship. It looks like one of those trade transport ships. So he gets on there, and he is stewing in his own anger, which is appropriate. And when he finally gets to where he's supposed to be getting to, which I'm pretty sure they are in Russia because Colossus is Russian, there is like a factory, and while he's walking that way, it's like a nuclear plant, and so while he's walking that way, he gets attacked by Omega Red, and of course that fight does not last very long, and he does have a few choice words for Omega Red, because of course Omega Red thinks that this shit is a fucking game, and Wolverine is not here to play. He was like, I am not one of your fucking contestants, and the shit is over. So while they are fighting, he does manage to choke Omega Red into unconsciousness, and then use his own tentacle things to hang him from a tree. It's almost like that scene in Tarzan. Now, as he is going to the nuclear plant, and up at the top of one of the, I don't actually know what that thing is called, but up at the top, where most or all of the heat is Deadpool sitting quite literally in the middle of it as his skin is being melted off, and he is just contemplating the things that he has currently done. And Wolverine's like, what is wrong with you? Like, you know, Omega Red and Sabretooth, the other guy, I can understand. But you and Colossus, I'm confused. Like, what the fuck is going on? And Deadpool's just like, you know, I don't know. It seemed fun at the time. And they're having this talk because they did used to be friends for a while. And it's so weird, honestly, seeing after all of this time, him turn on people the way that he has. So of course, you know, they're sitting there talking, and he's like, you know, I honestly can't stand it anymore, and he's going to throw himself in and essentially die. And Wolverine stops him. It's like, no, I can't let you do this. And he's like, you know, do you think I can change? And he has like this optimism on his face, and he's like excited, and he's talking to Wolverine like nothing has happened between the two of them. And Wolverine's like, oh no, I just wasn't going to give you the satisfaction of killing yourself. And then he pushes him in, and I thinking to myself, I'm just like, okay, so you went through all of that so that you could save him. Like, are you expecting like a team up? When he pushed him in, I was like, oh, you wanted to kill him. That's perfectly fine. He was like, you're absolutely not going to get the satisfaction of killing yourself and taking that shit from me. I'm going to kill you. So, you know, he has to have his revenge, and his revenge has to be by his hand. And that makes total sense to me. Now, a week later, after that, he goes to where Colossus is, and he is digging a grave in Colossus' front yard. Mind you, they were friends. They were on the team together. Like, they've been friends for a long time. The ultimate disrespect is you out there digging a grave in my front yard. And then to my house and just like, I'm going to dig your grave in front of your house. And when I come and confront you about it, you're like, oh, this is where I'm going to put you after I kill you. Wild behavior on his half. But anyway, he does come out, and you know, they do have a conversation because they did used to be friends. Essentially, they were family, and that's something that Wolverine points out. And he was just like, you know, I have to look out for me too. He's like, you know, I didn't do this. Like, this whole thing is Magneto's fault. And it's just like, Magneto died, so it's still not even his fault. His powers went out of control on impact after he had died. So we're still not even getting a what happened to him for that to have even happened. So, or happened. So they fight. Wolverine does manage to cut one of his arms off because, of course, his adamantium is stronger. And he's just like, no. And he rips off one of Logan's arms. And, you know, they're talking to each other while they're fighting. And Wolverine finally just gives him an uppercut with his claws. Straight through the head. Insanity. And then carries him, throws him into the grave, and puts the X-Men marker right there. The disrespect and pettiness on all levels. I love it. This was honestly and truly a really good one. It says peace at the end of the very last one when he leaves. So we're going to see what else happens after that. But essentially, he's gotten his revenge, unless there's someone else who was behind the things that were happening, which caused the death of all of the people that he was with, on top of the death of Bucky and Captain America. And again, why you guys decide to do things to Logan is crazy. Thinking that he's just going to be like, oh, well, they had a good run. No. We should all know he does not operate that way. I do really like this story, though. It started off kind of for me at first, but as it has progressed to these like next two issues, I do like enjoy it. Now, how they are going to end it is very interesting to me. I'm kind of hoping that there is a twist. Otherwise, this is kind of just like a 7.5 for me, which fairly average for most of the comic books that I read. I do like it, but I want there to be just a little bit more, and that is probably just me. I don't know. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. So if you have any opinions on how you feel about these issues so far, or how you think it's going to end, definitely let me know. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys at your next checkup.